No big deal.
My brother, you want me to say that?
Yeah, sure.
I could just talk about my visit to Dad again.
Okay. Yeah, it's on. Go for it.
Okay, let me see what I say.
Well, you went the first time. I remember you told me the first time you went, you got blessed by Pope Pius VI, right?
Pope Pius the 12th.
The 12th. I can't remember.
Yeah, that was during the war.
During World War II. Yeah.
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 And then after that, when I was stationed in Italy, I got blessed by Pope Pius VI.
Okay.
And then after that, when I went on an excursion with a group from New Jersey to excursion to Italy, I got blessed by Pope Pius, who was the sixth.
Sixth. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got three popes blessed.
And then, did you ever see John Paul II?
Huh?
Did you ever see John Paul II? Did you ever? I remember you went
to Poacher.
Yeah.
To Poacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. John of Artano. Yeah, St. John Paul II. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him too.
You saw him too?
Yeah. In fact, I took your dad out of visit. He visited him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to visit John Paul II 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was Pope for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Because, from Naples. From Naples, he went to Foggia. But it was St. Giovanni returned off a little hill and had a little bit. Yeah. But my mind's a little blank, it's a little dull.
Well, that's all right. There's no pressure.
I'm only 95 years old.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think sometimes. I mean, I'm slowing up. I'm 95 years old.
Yeah.
I say my prayers. I try to go to church in the morning, I live a good life. God knows that. If God's gonna, we all live a life. We're all gonna die. And we all die in a peaceful, graceful manner. Yeah. The best is yet to come.
I hope so.
Yeah. What you want me to say?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know it's tough. It's tough when something's being recorded. Yeah, it's no big deal. You say what you always say.
I say that I got the blessing of 3 different popes.
Yeah.
In World War II, I went to Rome when we captured Rome, and there was about, 500-600 people in it, and he blessed them. See, I heard about blessing before I went overseas. I never thought about a blessing of a priest. I think I told you once before. Anyway, I was in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and this story. And I went to my sergeant. I said, "My sister's here in Trenton, New Jersey. Can I go visit her?" He looked at me. "Yeah, okay, sergeant." And he gave me a pass. And I took the pass at the gate, and I went to visit my sister. And boy, was she happy there. I said, "Sister Bernice, she was a nun, 69 years a nun." And we were talking, and then she says to me, like I told you before, I think. Then she says to me, she says, "Joe, you see that priest over there? Go get his blessing. Ask him for his blessing." See, a lot of people, it's very important, I found out in my life, that if you have a priest, you and the priest, off on the side without no people, and you can always say to Father, could you give me a blessing? You should see how his face lights up. Sure, and he'll bless you. And blessings are very important. Yeah. So anyway, I went to see a priest. I told him, I said, "Father, that's my sister, that I'm going to go overseas. Can I have your blessing?" He said, "Sure." So I knelt down, and he blessed me. And I'll tell you one thing. After he put his hand on my head, and I stood up, I was floating on air. Really, I thought I was floating on air. I was just full of joy, just like that. And guess what? I went overseas. I flew 67 missions, and I never got scratched.
Yeah.
67 missions.
Yeah.
And then another thing, my chaplain, who was a Polish chaplain from Chicago, I was working in the armored section. I was going to a buck sergeant, loading bombs, unloading bombs all day long by there. So I got tired of it. After about a year of that stuff, a year and over 2 or 3 months, year and a half, I went to see the major, and I said, Major Jackson, I says, I want to be a gunner. I want to get my missions in. He says, okay, Joe, I'll check with headquarters. Joe, gentlemen, he goes, Joe, draw your flying equipment. I said, wow, I'm going to start flying. Because if you're flying and you earn the silver wings, I saw you my wings.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of my, I got almost as many ribbons as, I'm proud of this.
Yeah, that's the wings.
See that?
Yeah.
That's right. 1, 2, 3. And the silver wings, you were silver wings in the Air Force, you're somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a gunner's wings, a navigator's wing, and a pilot's wings, and a bombardier wing. But if you wear wings in the Air Force, boom.
Is it the gunner's wings?
Huh?
This is the gunner's wings?
Yeah, see the projectile?
Yeah, sure.
That's the gunner's wings. They got bombardier's wings, gunner's wings, and pilot's wings.
Yeah. Cool.
So when I got the silver wings, whatever, yeah. And now they got another one on here, but I was just Chief Master Sergeant. Yeah. I had a good career. Chief Master Sergeant.
Do you remember what it was like when you first joined?
Huh?
When you first joined the military, you joined the Army, right?
Yeah, I joined the Army.
Yeah.
I think I told you before. I had 9 brothers and sisters. I had 5 brothers and sisters below me, less than me, lower than me, age-wise. I had 5 brothers and sisters smaller than me, age-wise. So, but there was a Great Depression. I mean, I was 18 years old. I was eating no food, and my dad was working, making what, $45, $60 a week.
Where did he work?
We were poor. I mean, we were poor. And I didn't, anyway, to make a long story short, my brother, he went to join the Army, but he didn't make it. He said something about his feet. So I went to join the Army. Oh, you did? I'm going down. I started a recruiting town down in Newark, New Jersey. And he looked at me. He says, where were you born, son? He called me son. I said, I was born in Newark, New Jersey. He said, go to City Hall, get your birth certificate, tell them you're going to join the Army, they won't question anything. I said, okay. The City Hall was just about 2 blocks away, 2 blocks away from the recruiting station. Mm-hmm. So I went down to the store, and I went to the birth certificate. I said, I want to join the Army, and they told me that I got to get my birth certificate from here. I said, oh, okay. They gave it to me here. There's no charge. I took it to him, no charge. And that was the best thing I ever did when I joined the Army. That's the only thing that was open, and it was only open for Panama. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here he is. Oh, is it ready to eat? Oh, okay.
1 second, Judge. Hey, I'll
me in the Army. But the only opening I was opening for in the Army at that time, even $21, I joined the Army, I can only go to Panama. I said, okay, I'll go to Panama. Because, I want to get on the payroll. I get, what? Get paid $21 a month and they feed me? Let me in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we were poor. You didn't know how big the Depression was. Anyway, I joined the Army, and that's the best thing I ever made. I went to Panama, and I was a good soldier. I mean, I was, in Panama we were up at 5:45, 6 days a week, 5:45, except Sunday you sleep as late as you want to. 5:45 up at 5:45, that's 5:45, 6 o'clock, there's outside roll call, and then back in, it was shave and this and that, you shaved, and you had breakfast at 6:30, 7 o'clock at breakfast. But the military made me what I am today, and I was a good soldier. In fact, I was so good soldier in Panama. Boy, I did everything they said, and I drilled and everything, and I made expert rifleman on a range, and everything. So I was a soldier, and boy, they pay me every month, and I'm serving my country. It was a good feeling.
So how'd you get out of the Army?
Well, I never went to high school. Now, see, to join the Air Force, you had to be a high school graduate. Okay, I was okay. I put 5 years in Panama, and then I said I want to get stationed. I don't want to go back to the East Coast. I told them, send me to the West Coast. I want to go to West Coast and visit the West Coast. They said okay. So they sent me to San Francisco, and they assigned me to Fort Worth, California. And that's how and then in Fort Worth, California, I was getting discharged, you know. And what happened was the Air Force opened up. I found the Air Force, you didn't have to be a high school graduate. If you're a grammar school graduate, you join up. So anyway, I was a platoon sergeant
Platoon sergeant?
in Fort Worth, you know. And I told my first sergeant, I told the commanding, "Oh, we need you, Joe." You know, I was a drill instructor. I was good. I was a good drill instructor. And they say, "We need you." I said, "I'm sorry. I want to join the Air Force." I was buck sergeant. And the first sergeant talked to me. The lieutenant talked to me. The captain. I said, "I'm very sorry. I'm going to get this seat." They couldn't stop me from getting discharged.
Yeah.
Once I got discharged, I joined the Air Force. That very day, they had I went in there. I just got discharged. Now I joined the Air Force. "Oh, you're different. Oh, we're glad to have you."
Did you know there was going to be a war?
Yeah, in a way, we were heard the rumblings, you know, in the West Coast. Yeah, things weren't good. But war and over, at least I was in the Army, and they fed me and they paid me.
Yeah,
That's the main thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Air Force, was that a better place to be?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Air Force is a place to be in the Army. Army, you're up at 5:45 and out there drilling, you know, and you're out there running around looking for the enemy with a rifle in your hand. That's not for me. Yeah, you're running around the field, in the woods and everything, playing soldier, looking for the enemy. I said, who the heck wants to do this? You know, if it's smart enough to do that. You don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when I joined the Air Force, they found I was an ex-soldier. They assigned me to go to armament school.
Armament school.
I told you, yeah. Armament school, it was in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. They sent me to Denver, Colorado, Lowry Air Force Base. They sent me to armament school, and the armament school was, I think it was about 6 weeks. The armament school is when you load bombs and take care of all the guns on the airplane. Mm-hmm. You take care of all the guns, 50 caliber guns, 30 caliber guns, and you load bombs. And you can load a 100-pound bomb, 200-pound bomb, 500-pound bombs. You got to know how to load them on the airplane, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, an airplane, every airplane, they had a crew chief, he's the mechanic, an assistant crew chief, these two were the mechanics on the machine, on the engines, you know. Then they had a radio man assigned to him, he takes care of the radio, and they had 2 armormen that load bombs. Every plane had 5 people to take care of that plane. That's your plane. And you go to the plane, see? Yeah. And it was the best thing I did. Boy, I was lucky. I was blessed. But I was a nobody. I was nobody. All I was just graduated grammar school. Yeah. Yeah. I joined the Army, but after I found out that they could join the Air Force, I always wanted to be Air Force. I always liked the airplanes, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when they just started the Army, I went down to the recruiting sergeant. I just got discharged from the Army. Boy, they're glad to have me. Especially knew if I was a drill instructor. Yeah. When I joined the Air Force, they put me in drilling. See, whether you're Air Force or Army or whatever, the drill instructor is they put you to drill at the form parade. You just can't get 200 guys to go ahead and go to parade. Yeah. You got to train them. Yeah. Train them. Yeah. Every day, squads right, squads left, to the rear mark, all that business. See? Yeah. So,
what happened after you became a gunner? After you
I came back. Yeah.
After you decided you wanted to fly, you flew 67 missions.
Yeah, no, after they took me up the gunner, they sent me back and back. Good thing they didn't give me an eye test because I would never made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never made it. But anyway, make long story. When I went after gunner, I got off the gunnery because they needed the States, and they assigned me to special services in the gymnasium. See, special services on the base, they have the theaters, they have the gymnasium, they have the golf courses, they have all the recreation facilities. They're in charge of all the service clubs, theaters. They have all personal services on the base has all charge of all these activities. And there in the main office, I made the rank of master sergeant, senior master sergeant, and chief master sergeant. I was in the right place at the right time. Yeah. So I had a good career. I made Master Sergeant in 1960. No, I made Chief Master Sergeant. I made Chief Master Sergeant in 1962. And I got discharged 5 years later as a Chief Master Sergeant.
Yeah.
So I was around. Yeah. The Air Force was good to me, and I was good to the Air Force. Yeah. And to be a Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force, you were somebody, you know?
Yeah.
You were somebody.
Not very many of those, right?
Yeah.
Not very many, huh? Yeah. You want some more?
I don't know, just want to.
Hungry?
Yeah. That's the only thing I ever left. Because I'm not a mechanic. I'm a nobody. On the outside, I'm a nobody. What can I do?
You told me once that on some of your missions you took photographs.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
photo gunner.
Yeah,
Mhm.
photo gunner.
That's why they kept me going. With a big hammer, about this big, about this long. And on the floor gunner, you know. I don't know if that's a, oh, anyway, we had the bottom of the big door that fit in the airplane to the rear gunner, and you had front gunner. That's all you had on 820. So for the floor gunner, they told me they take missions before you hit the target, not to hit the target.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cool, calm, and collected. The plane was going this way and this way and this way and this way. The plane was boom, 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 boom. I looked down there, like, boom. Wow, good thing it didn't come a little for another second. It wouldn't have been hit us.
Mm-hmm.
It was dangerous. But we made it all right. Yeah, I was there for a gunner. And I flew. They only flew 50 missions, but the officers and the intelligence officers, captains, say, Sergeant Wargacki, fly somewhere. He said, you come back with the best pictures, because intelligence, all they do is study pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Before you hit the target, like I say over and over again, and after you hit the target. Yeah, and you can see the pictures before all the buildings, all the headquarters of enemy, you know, or their airplanes, whatever it is. And then I took the pictures. You see the bombs dropping right on our target, and then they like that. See.
Yeah.
But war is an abomination on the human race. But war is a horrible thing for the human race, for both parties, you know.
Yeah.
It's abomination, war. People suffer.
Yeah.
Those poor people that we went to Italy, those Italians, boy, they suffered. Women, children, sitting out there, Bambino. They're asking for tips, you know.
Yeah.
I give them money. Yeah, I give them money. Yeah, yeah. Italy suffered a lot during the war. Poor Italy. A Catholic country, too. You know, the great mystery in this world is it's a mystery. Why do good people suffer and bad people live it up and romancing, dancing, you know? But good people suffer. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get sick and they do this and get this.
What about you? Do you feel like you were lucky?
But I always feel well, I prayed a lot. I prayed a lot, and I feel the Lord was with me. Yeah, yeah. You could say I was lucky, but I was, I was protected. I felt really protected by God to to be what I am. Never got hit, never got injured. Yeah, my bombardier got wounded twice. Not seriously, once in the leg and once in the arm, but he was wounded, and that counted. I think I had the airplane somewhere. Got some holes in the airplane. But I didn't want to take a look. La, 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 la. This airplane came back. Look how this airplane was see the holes there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What kind of airplane is this?
820. It's an
820
attack bomber. Yeah. And once it holds about it, they strip it. They junk it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's me when I was flying. Did I show you that?
No, I never saw that.
No.
Wow, look at that. That's your flight gear?
Yeah, 1944. Joe done 67 missions.
Wow.
That's I flew. You were up to 12,000 feet. We didn't have no heat in the back of it. Yeah,
It's
so
cold
you
up
see
there.
how yeah. Then my brother, he was in the aircraft in Corsica, and I was in Naples, and we both got together. He was in the aircraft. See that? And we lived in tents like that. Yeah. That's my brother Matty. Joe and Matt, 1944. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just good memories, you know. The war, there we are. We lived in tents. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
And I was up there, boy, it was cold up there. 12,000 feet. We're up there 12,000, over 2 miles in the air. Yeah. But war's an abomination on the human race. Look at that. That airplane made it back. And some of these airplanes they couldn't load the landing gear.
Yeah.
They had to come down on our belly.
Yeah.
Well, one time, I was on one mission, you know. I don't know how many I had in it. And we couldn't put our landing gear down. Oh, man. No landing gear. I don't want to land with on the belly, you know, no wheels, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I shuddered. And I didn't want to bail out. I didn't want to bail out and hope to
pull the cord,
yeah. I didn't want to bail out. So we were flying around and around and around there, and a pilot hit jogged the plane down, and then it pulled up real hard, and it released, tried to release the wheels, so the wheels will come down.
Mm-hmm.
And he was up there, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and they finally came down. I said, wow, they came down. Yeah. I said, go to the pilot. I looked through the window. I always told the pilot about when the wheels are down. Wheels down and lock. Gunner pilot, wheels down and lock.
Yeah.
I always told him, gunner pilot, always check the wheel. He said, okay, thank you, Joe. Yeah. Because, he puts the wheel down. He don't know if they're down or not. But you look through the window.
You need visual confirmation, right?
You see the wheels down. You tell him, gunner pilot, wheels down and lock. Okay, very good. I put the wheels up. Well, he knows when they go up, when he puts the wheels up. Because you can't fly with wheels on it. Yeah, that's my brother Matthew. Yeah. It's just memories. 95 years old. I got so much stuff here. Funny. I said you probably.
Yeah.
Nice day this, nice day that, nice day. Think about this, very important about going to church. Very important. I never miss church hardly. I don't miss church. The tremendous value of the Holy Mass. Read that. A lot of people know that. The value of going to the Holy Mass. At the hour of death, the Holy Mass will be you heard the bell, will be your greatest consolation. Go to church, say your prayers. Go to church, say your prayers.
Did you ever go to Mass at St. Peter's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about, did you see the Sistine Chapel? The Sistine Chapel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, I see this chapel, yeah. The power of Satan is diminished over you. Every Mass will go with you to judgment will plead for pardon for you. By every Mass you diminish the temporal punishment to your sins, more or less according to their fervor. By devoting assisting at Holy Mass, you render the greatest homage possible to the sacred humanity of our Lord. one Holy Mass heard during your life will be more benefit to you than many heard for you after death. Great again. Yes, through the Mass you are preserved from many dangers and misfortunes which the world does have befallen you. Be sure to report the Lord by every Mass. And I was saved from many dangers and misfortunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flew. Yeah.
You flew in a lot of different. You flew in a lot of different places, a lot of different countries.
Yeah, I visited Poland. I went to Poland.
Yeah.
I always wanted to visit Poland, but the only thing was just here. I met a Polish priest in Italy, and he went to Poland, and he always wanted me to visit Poland. But see, Poland at that time was occupied by the Russians and the Germans. There was no Polish country.
Yeah.
Anyway, and here I am at NATO. I'm a NATO, and Russia didn't like NATO. You know, they had something. You know, but anyway, when I visited Poland, and the priest, we had to go register with the authorities, and they were looking at me, and I was in civilian clothes. I said, boy, if they knew I'm a NATO outfit, and I hear Poland, communist country, they're not going to like that.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I'm a staff sergeant in NATO, and here I'm visiting Poland. It's not the Polish people; it's the authorities in charge. But I was kind of wary, and then he looks at me, and he says to the gentleman in Polish, I understood Polish, I didn't talk Polish to him. He said, "What does he do in Italy in Naples, Italy, with the Italians?" And I gave him the answer. I says, "I work with Sportiva, with sports." Oh, Sportiva? Okay. Yeah.
Everybody likes sports.
Yeah. I was Allied Forces Southern Europe, and we had basketball games, tennis courts, and everything. Officers against the liftmen, this against all, you know, all kind of games I organized, you know. I was a recreational specialist. Yeah. Yeah, recreational specialist.
Can you tell me about when you met Padre Pio?
I was in an elevator. I was in an elevator with two ladies. And two ladies were talking. Just actually, we lived in an apartment, okay? And we lived on the third or fourth floor, I don't know what it was. And these two ladies were talking. And they were talking about, there's a priest, they told about, the priest that has a stigmata of Jesus on his body. They were talking about in Foggia. I said, what? A priest, a stigmata of Jesus on his body? And I was stationed in Foggia we were stationed in Foggia for about 5-6 months, and I never heard about that. See? So when I heard that, I said to myself, wow. Just accidentally I heard it. I said, I'm going to go visit him. So to make a long story short, I jump in my car. I had 3 days off, you know. I jump in my car. I drive over the Apennine Mountains. I go to Foggia. I said, "Dove stop, Padre Pio." You know, ask the Italians. Dove stop. They say, "Up, San Giovanni Rotondo." And so I went up to San Giovanni Rotondo. And I got a hotel room because I was going to hear Mass from him. I heard Mass from him at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
He had Mass.
5:30 in the morning.
Well, not 5:30, but we up at 5:30. We have Mass at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I heard Mass from him. But I didn't go to Holy Communion because a lot of people didn't go to Holy Communion. Maybe one or two, I don't know why. But at that time, I didn't go to, daily Holy Communion like I do now. It was a little bit, different, Go to confession, then go to Holy Communion. But that was a tremendous experience. Padre Pio, your dad, he got the blessing of Padre Pio. He was just a little boy. He was 6-7 years old. And I took him there, and he went in, and Padre Pio put his hand right on your dad's head and blessed him. I told somebody that they was blessed by Padre Pio. He did. Boy, your dad's going to be a holy man. And he is. Yeah. Yeah.
And you got to, Padre Pio heard your confession, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He looked at me. He said, "Shock of a story. Shock of it. I already confessed." See, I had nothing to confess. I had no more to confess. But I was going to go and tell a few of my sins,
Yeah.
But he looked at me and said, "Shock of a story. Shock of a story." He was waving his hand. "Ja" means you already confessed. I said, "Oh, what do I do? What do I do? He don't want to hear my confession. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" Oh, the greatest thing I ever did. So I know what I'll do. I bent down. And the greatest thing in the world happened to me. He put his hand, his sore, bleeding hand, right on top of I felt his hand right on top of my head. And I'm down here. Wow! He touched me with his sore, bleeding hand. Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, I felt joy in my heart. My heart. I was just lifted up, in my whole chest and everything. He touched me with his sore, bleeding hand. Then a blessing, of a holy priest is very, very important.
He didn't do that very often, did he?
Oh.
Padre Pio was
No.
very private.
Yeah. I went 4 times and I took Joey a couple times. Yeah. She couldn't go. She was pregnant. She was pregnant with Robert and later with Timothy.
Yeah.
But that was a good experience. And the best thing that ever happened to me, when I first went to Air Force, I wanted to go to Spain. But then my good friend in Pentagon says, "Hey, Joe, you can't go to Spain. Italy's opened your AFAC in my specialty code." So, yeah, well, I'd like to go to Italy. So I went to ask her, "You want to go to Italy?" She said, "Oh, yeah, we'll go to Italy." So we went to Italy. Yeah. Good experience. Italy was a good experience. Yeah. And to get the blessing of a holy Father, that's tremendous. It's 400, 500, 600 people out there, and when the Holy blesses you, oh, you can almost feel it, Yeah. You gotta look at these holy places. Italy's got a lot of holy places. Italy, they tell me, is the land of sinners and saints. They're either great sinners or the great saints.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about when he was going to leave Rome and he went to the Basilica and Pope Pius? Did you tell him about
Yeah, he said he was blessed by Pope Pius VI, right?
Pope Pius XII.
Pope Pius XII. And then Paul VI was the next.
John
the
the 23rd.
And then Paul VI, and then John Paul. Yeah. Good John Paul. That's right.
But he was in the Basilica when Pope Pius XII came down and reached out and he touched his hand.
I learned about the blessing of my sister before I went over. I never thought about being blessed. My sister, when I visited my sister, she was a nun at Fort Dix, New Jersey, and we were talking there, and then there was a priest over there. And she said, "Joe, you see that priest over there? Go over there and get his blessing." Oh yeah, I will. Hey, how often do you ask a priest for a blessing? But I'll tell you one thing: if you ever get a priest off for yourself, I say, "Father, can you give me a blessing?" Boy, every priest I went to gave me a blessing like out of style. Yeah, they're glad to give you a blessing. Yeah. Every priest I went to, yeah.
And Robert and Timothy were born in Italy, right?
Yeah. They were born in the Naval Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Naval Hospital. They're Italians, but they don't know it. But they were registered. They're registered with the
U.S. citizen.
Washington.
He's on the base, right?
Yeah. They're registered with.
Where else were you stationed? You were stationed in Naples, right?
Yeah.
And you spent some time in Corsica.
Yeah.
Where else?
I spent 5 years in Panama.
5 years in Panama. Yeah.
Yeah. And I spent 3 years in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brazil, Panama. Yeah. And Europe twice.
Did you ever go to Africa?
Yeah, I was stationed in Africa. When North Africa, when we made in North Africa, our outfit joined our Air Force. We were pushing forward on our airport was in Africa. When they captured Africa, they would start bombing Sicily. When we captured Sicily, we went to Sicily and bombed Italy. And when we pushed the Italian, Germans back all the way past Naples, past Rome, we went to Italy. Yeah, that's right. But then after I volunteered for a mission, I got my 67 mission, and I wanted to come home,
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
done.
sitting there, living in a pub tent, Yeah. And every time the air raid goes, you jump in the foxhole, you get tired of that stuff,
Yeah.
And you're living out on the land, in a tent. Yeah. Half the time you're sleeping on the ground.
Father Wickard sent him a birthday card.
Oh, yeah. I had a good life.
Yeah. Thank you, Babczie.
Yeah.
How'd you meet Babczie?
How did I meet you, Remember? You were...
It wasn't very impressive.
It was
In the mess hall.
in the mess hall.
Yeah, in the mess hall. And somehow or other, I saw her over there and said, gee, I'd like to meet her.
Yeah.
And I went up and said something to
No,
her.
a friend. The sergeant who gave me away at the wedding.
I can't hear so good.
The master sergeant who gave me away at my wedding, at our wedding.
Yeah.
He introduced us. He was living in the barracks.
He set you up together. He put you together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Up in the Pentagon. You worked in the Pentagon.
I worked by him, yes.
Yeah. What was his name? I forgot his name. McGuire?
No.
That's okay. It's not important. I forgot his name. That's years ago.
Yeah.
I called him Dad.
You called him Dad.
Yeah.
And he gave you away. He's older than gentleman.
Yeah, he'd been in quite a while. And he lived in the barracks in Arling at Fort Myer because his wife didn't like military. They were from Yonkers. So he lived in the barracks and then would go home to Yonkers to see his family.
I see.
Yeah, I was a recreational specialist on Fort Myer, Virginia. And I was coordinating sports activities with the Army and the Air Force, We had softball games, basketball games, golf matches. I was a recreational specialist. Yeah. Now I remember how I ever did that. But I come up through the ranks. Yeah.
How did you get promoted all the way up to Chief Master Sergeant?
Yeah. I was a Master Sergeant. Let's see, what the heck made me? I can't remember. I was a Master Sergeant. Well, in the United States Air Force, there was no E8s and E9s. There was only Master Sergeant. That's the highest rank, okay? And then when the E8s and the E8s and 9s came out, somehow or other I was working on, and my officers and my commanding officer, they recommended me be a senior Master Sergeant. So I got to be a senior master. Very recommended. I'm senior master sergeant. And I wasn't a senior master sergeant long. I don't know, 8, 9 months before I got promoted to chief master sergeant. Yeah, I was in the right place at the right time with the right people.
How many E9s were there? Was it very rare?
Oh yeah, E9. In my AFC, my specialty, 2 in the whole United States Air Force. Only 2 in my specialty.
In your specialty.
But they had mechanic specialties, they had, clerk specialties, and you name it. But in my specialty was recreation specialist, only 2.
I see.
And I made it, yeah. I was the right place with the right time with the right people. Yeah. I got along with everybody. Yeah.
When you get hungry, you let me know.
I can't hear you.
When you get hungry, Babczie will make you something.
Yeah, what time is it?
It's about 4:30.
Yeah, I'll eat pretty soon. I'll be down pretty soon. I'm going to eat because I'm hungry. Yeah. And then the big thing is, when I was in Italy, a good friend of ours in the Pentagon, Elaine and I, when I married her, he said, "Hey Joe, in your AFC, there's an opening in Spain. Do you want to go to Spain?" I said, "Yeah, let me check with the wife. I want to go to Spain. I want to go overseas, you know." I checked with Elaine. She said, "Yeah, we'll go to Spain." Then we back the next day, come back. "Hey Joe," he says, "I'm sorry. Spain fell through, and your AFC is not opening. But however, they got an opening in Naples, Italy, and Allied forces in Southern Europe. You want to go?" I said, "Yeah, I want to go big day. I was there during the war." I checked with Elaine. She said, "Yeah, let's go to Italy." And so, yeah, I'll go to Italy. And boom, boom, boom. Orders. I was a master sergeant. I don't know. Yeah, I was a master, whatever master sergeant were, and the wife and everything. I shipped to Italy. I got to Italy, and I was in the personal services department. I organized their recreation activities. We had the theater, all under our jurisdiction. We had the golf courses, the tennis courses, all under our jurisdiction, and we had the see. In the military, they stress sports to keep the people soldiers on the base rather than going to town, get drunk and loaded, you know.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get. We had basketball games and softball games and this that. I organized softball game between the officers and enlisted. That was always fun, you know.
Yeah.
Officers playing enlisted, man, that's fun. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, but I always had a good record. I never got in trouble. The only time I got in trouble was what was it? Naples, Italy, or somewhere. I was I was I was accidentally walking in a restricted area in Naples, yeah, and because I saw a restaurant there, I was going to get something to eat, you know. Oh, there's a restaurant. So I was walking to the restaurant, and here come two MPs and a chief. They stopped the car. "Soldier, just a minute." They went up to me, and they said, "You're in a restricted area. You better come with us." What? They took me to MP headquarters. They put me in a cell.
Yeah.
I said,
Really?
"What the heck is this?" I didn't do nothing. But the next morning, my colonel came. He's Colonel, I think his name was Clisby or something. He came. He said, "I want my sergeant out. We'll take care of our business." And he got me up, took me away from the MP, and
Yeah.
took care of me. Yeah.
Yeah. You had to spend the night in the cell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was in the wrong area. I was walking through a restricted area to go to a restaurant, and they picked me up. Now I did nothing. I wasn't drinking or nothing. I said, "Wow." Yeah, they frisked you, you know. Well, you had in Naples, Italy, there's a lot of restricted areas that you couldn't go, you know. There was, you know, shady men, you know, they'll mob you.
Yeah.
One time, I was walking in Naples, and this one guy jumped on me, and I ducked under him, you know, and I swung at him, and I took off, and he tried to rob me. They tried to mug you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. Just to get your money, you know. But I fought them off, and I took off. Yeah. That's the only time I ever got rush call. Yeah, I like Italy a lot. I like Italy a lot. Yeah. But the greatest thing is to meet Padre Pio. And it was accidentally too. I heard these two women talking about him. I said, "What? I was stationed for 4 or 5 months. I never heard about him." I took a trip. Oh boy. And to hear a mass by him, you know, is nice. Yeah. Very few people didn't go to community. Maybe one or two was all that went to community, but I didn't go to community. But to hear mass, but I told you when after mass, this this person who was showing me around, this here Italian gentleman, he speaks English, you know. When he first come to me to stay with me, you know, show me around, I said, "No, don't bother." No. Then I thought to myself, why not? You know, he could show me around, and he showed me around in prison. He took me in like I told you once or 2 or 3 times, took me to sacristy. And there was Padre Pio face to face. I said, "Wow." And I got behind him, and I said, "Lord, let me touch him. I just want to touch him. I just want to touch him, Lord." And I took my hand, I run my hand across one shoulder to the other shoulder. And something came over me, and he knew that I knew. He knew that it was me who touched him. He never turned around, never. And he let me. Now, there are other people, Italian people, they sort of reached out for him to get his habit or this and that, or which is they want to cut his habit.
Mm-hmm.
He'd tell him right off, see? Yeah. And also, after I touched his shoulder, I reached down and touched his cord. I held his cord, It's a holy thing, to hold his cord he had around it. It was down, in the cord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, I had a good career. And I joined when we were poor. We were so poor. When I joined the Army, man, I was so happy. First thing I did, though, when I got discharged from the Army in Fort Ord, they had openings in the Air Force. So when I got discharged in the Army at Fort Ord, I went to the Air Force recruiting station. And I just got discharged from the Army, and I joined the Air Force. Oh, yeah, we're glad to have you. Boy, glad to have you, because I was a drill instructor.
Yeah.
I got to be in the Air Force, and I was drilling. They didn't have very many drill instructors. The Air Force weren't too good drilling. How do you drill in a parade? You got 500, 600 people. How you form a parade to form in a 1, 2, platoons,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good, Judge.